There's a shift that happens the moment you actually get what you've been working toward, and nobody warns you about it. Before you get there, you're free. After you get there, something changes. And Broadway star Shoshana Bean put her finger on exactly what that something is. Shoshana has been working on Broadway for over 2 decades. She's won a Grammy and received 2 Tony nominations and performed on some of the biggest stages in the world. But she didn't start there. She spent months as the standby for Idina Menzel in Wicked, sitting in the wings every night, ready but not expected by anybody. Nobody bought a ticket to see Shoshana Bean. She was just there in case. And then one night, Idina fell through a trap door and cracked a rib, and Shoshana went on. And then she kept going on. And eventually she became the lead in Wicked. And then she became someone. And that's when everything shifted. She was on a podcast recently, and she said something that's worth sitting with. She said that before you become who you are at the height of your success, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You're moving freely, and you're just going for it. There's no reputation to protect and no expectations to meet. There's no standard you set that you now have to live up to. But the moment you get there, the moment you become that person, whatever that looks like for you, it suddenly feels like you have everything to lose. Like you constantly have to prove yourself. Like you have to be bigger and better than whatever people already think you are. And then she said the thing that makes this worth talking about, as far as I'm concerned. She said, that's not actually true. You don't have to do any of that. You just feel like you do. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not a Broadway star. I haven't won a Grammy. What does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. Because this shift doesn't require a Tony nomination to kick in. It happens at every level. It happens the moment you get the promotion you've been working toward and suddenly feel like you have to prove you deserve it every single day. It happens when your business starts doing well and you find yourself more anxious, not less. It happens when people start noticing what you're doing, like following you online or watching you or paying attention. And instead of feeling good, you feel pressure. Like you can't mess up now. Like there's something on the line that wasn't there before. It even happens in smaller ways. You finally stick to a habit for a few weeks and suddenly you're stressed out about breaking it. You have one good conversation, and now you're worried about the next one not measuring up. You were just doing the thing, whatever that was, and now you're managing the thing. And here's what's worth noticing. Before any of that happened, you were probably doing your best work, moving the most freely, taking the most risks. And that wasn't because you were less capable, but because you had nothing to protect. The version of you that started this, that person was fearless in a specific way, not because they were braver, but because they had nothing to lose yet. Here's what I think is actually happening. The moment you achieve something, like anything, your brain reframes the whole situation. Without asking your permission, without any announcement, it quietly shifts from offense to defense, from building to protecting, from let's see what happens to don't blow this. And it does this because on some level, you now have something. and things you have can be lost. So the brain does what it's designed to do. It starts scanning for threats. It starts calculating what's at stake. It starts telling you that you need to be careful or strategic, be consistent, that people are watching, that you set a bar, and now you have to clear it every time. And all of that feels very responsible, right? Very mature. Like you're taking things seriously now that they are serious. But what it's actually doing is putting you in a completely different relationship with your own work. The work that got you here was driven by curiosity, by momentum, by the freedom of not knowing exactly how it would turn out. And now that work is being driven by fear of losing what the first work built. Those are not the same engine, and they don't produce the same results. Shoshana didn't become one of the most respected voices on Broadway by protecting what she had. She got there by doing the thing standbys do. They show up fully, holding nothing back, performing like there's nothing on the line. And the insight she's offering is that you don't have to stop doing that just because you got somewhere. The nothing to lose energy is still available to you. You just have to stop believing the story that says it isn't. So what does this actually look like outside of a Broadway stage? It starts with noticing when you've switched from building to protecting, because most people make that switch without even realizing it. They think they're being professional or consistent or smart about things, but what they're actually doing is playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And those are completely different games, because building sounds like, I'm going to try this and see what happens. What's the worst that could occur? Protecting sounds like, I can't mess this up. People are watching. I need to make sure this is good enough. One of those has energy in it. The other one is bracing. And the work you do from bracing sounds different. And it feels different. And of course lands differently than the work you do when you're free. The question worth asking yourself, honestly, not as a judgment, is, am I still doing this the way I did it when I had nothing to lose? Or have I started managing it? Because if you've started managing it, that's not a character flaw. It's a completely natural response to feeling like you finally have something to protect. But you can loosen your grip on that. Not permanently, not in a reckless, burn it all down kind of way. Just enough to remember that the version of you who started this was already enough, already capable, already doing work worth doing. You don't have to earn your place again every day. You already showed up. The standby became the lead. And the lead doesn't need to audition for the role she's already playing. You're already in it. You can stop proving it. If you're watching this and you need some one-on-one conversation with me where we can flesh out what you're dealing with, join my school community. The link is in the description. And please share this video with someone who's been having this same conversation with themselves. I'll see you in the next one.